Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I'm jumping straight into the tutorial today. Starting from setting her under eyes. She had a really beautiful skin. We had to do foundation and contour off camera. So here I'm highlighting her face. I wanted to show you guys how to achieve a flawless under eye. So I first started with concealer, as you saw earlier in the video, blend that out together perfectly. Then I started setting with a setting powder here. I'm dusting away. I increased the speed a bit, so that's why it's looking like I'm doing it really fast, but I was really slow doing this because you don't want to rush doing your under eye. I'm having a I don't know, like my voice is not the way it used to be. I have cold, I think, so just bear with me. So yeah, I'm doing the same thing on the other side. You can see I went in first with the beauty blender, then now I'm going in with a brush. I'm dipping the brush into a setting powder, dusting all the excesses away, then using that to set the under eye in place, the concealer that I had applied earlier. So that's what I'm doing right now. I am not rushing, trust me, I am taking my time. So I went back in with the beauty blender on a setting powder to press all of that in, and then I baked a bit. I felt like the video was slow, so I added speed, and now everything is moving so fast. Sorry about that. Yeah, so what I'm doing right now is just setting the rest of her face. She said she was really oily, so I'm using a setting powder to set her T-zones. Then I'll use her normal pressed powder for the rest of her face. For this particular look, I used the Mirac setting powder in the shade Cinnamon. I mixed cinnamon with the Sasha Buttercup powder, I think. Yeah, I mixed 2 shades for the setting powder. Yeah. The cinnamon was a bit too dark for her, so I mixed it. So I'm doing her nose contour right now. I'm just using 2 shades darker than her face shade for that contour. I'm not using anything too extremely dark for her contour, so it's not too harsh. Yeah, so that's what I'm just doing. I'm using a blending brush to apply it because I really don't like seeing harsh lines when I blend my concealer. I mean, when I blend the nose or contour, right? So I also did use the same shade to do the contour of her face, and I added some blush. I used the pink blush. I'd already done liquid blush, so I'm just adding a powder blush over it to give it some dimension, and then I'm setting all of that using the Morphe continuous setting spray. I love to use Morphe to break down powder right after setting and applying powder to the face because it gives it this skin-like finish at this point, and it sets everything in place perfectly. So I'm just prepping her brows with a brow tint, I think from I'll just put it in the description box because I can't remember right now. I think it's Browmatic by Damel or the Mismetic brow gel, either of the two. So I'm going into an eyeshadow to allow the brows to brow tint to set and dry a bit more before I draw the brows. I'm using the eyeshadow palette from Meet the Browns by Annie's Beauty. It's a Ghanaian brand, really beautiful. I love the variations and how that they have different brown tones in that palette that can work for any skin tone. Basically, if you're working on a dark skin, you can use the palette. If you're working on a light skin, you can use the palette, but you have to be a bit more careful, because browns can be tricky on a light person. You have to use a really light brown if you're working on a very light person, so it doesn't look too dark or anything. So I did on the sides of her eyes with that. She wanted a really nude look. She didn't want anything extra at all, and I was in for it as well. So I was just using a nude shade from my other eyeshadow palette. I think it's Endless Beauty. It's been discontinued because I remember some of my students, my physical students, wanted to get this particular eyeshadow. They literally checked everywhere and they couldn't find it. I've been using this eyeshadow palette for quite a while now, this Endless Beauty. I can't even remember how I got it, but I've been using it for a while, honestly, and yeah, they were not able to get it, so I feel it's no longer available, but like, they have beautiful shades. In my next video, I'll try to show you guys the palettes that I'm talking about. It's really, really nice, but there's no way to get it anyways, so I don't know if there'll be a need for that. So I'm just basically blending the eyeshadow together, so that there are no harsh lines and everything is sinking into each other properly. I've said this over and over and over that one of the important things when it comes to makeup is really blending. If you have the patience to blend your work together, everything will be flawless. But if you're really patient doing your makeup, you're going to have a lot of flaws, right, at the end of the day. So just always, go over and over these things, to sync two colors together, to put, blend shades together, basically. So, sorry about my voice. Lining the eyes now. I'm using a gel liner from Polar Beauty. Yeah. I'm using this liner from Polar Beauty to line her eyes. It's a gel liner and a precise brush to do that. So I mentioned earlier that she wanted a really nude look, so we're not doing anything too extra, just to define the features of her face. That's all we're doing. I honestly am loving how how my makeup has been turning out these days. It seems like you just learn something as you go, like you keep learning as you go, let me put it that way, because you really never know everything. As you keep applying, as you keep developing your craft, you keep getting better and better and better. So it feels like every time I touch someone, it looks better than what I did a month ago or two to me, right? So other people still see what I did a month ago or two and like, oh wow, I love this, it's nice. But to me, like, I feel like it keeps getting better, and there's no better yesterday for me when it comes to this makeup application. And I'm really grateful to God, because every gift is from God. I'm really grateful to God for enabling me to make people look pretty and gorgeous. I can't wait for you guys to hear her commentary when she saw herself. She was so happy. She was like, oh, well, I don't have to tell you guys since you're still going to see it anyways, because I kept that here and I'll leave the sound on so that you can hear it for yourself. She's really reserved. You can see no stress, nothing. She just told me what she wanted, and I was doing just that. I really enjoyed my section with her. She's such a beautiful person, beautiful inside out. Met very briefly anyways, not like I've known her, but when you meet people, you can sense their aura just by spending a few minutes with them. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Well, so far so good. I've had amazing clients. God has been good. Look at that brows. So look at that brows. Sorry, I'm not even explaining again, but I feel like you guys can just watch and understand what I'm doing. So I used the Ega and Extra brow gel for her brows, and I defined it. I didn't really trim her brows so much because she said she liked her brows full, because she doesn't really she doesn't like it when her brows is tiny. So here initially I went in with a very light shade of concealer. I had to go back over it because I don't like my concealer looking whitish. So if you notice, this second side is looking blurry now, because I recorded this video using cinematic. I'm sorry, I recorded this video using cinematic to blur out the background. But the problem with cinematic at times is when there is an object in front of you, like my hand now in the middle of her face, is making her face, it's making her face look blurry. So like it's making the background look blurry, but meanwhile it's projecting my hands more. I'm sorry about that, but once I take my hands off, I believe you can still see what I'm doing anyways. I saw this while I was editing this, so you can see I'm going over it again with the direct 2 shades lighter than her, rather than what I used earlier. I see a lot of people do this light thing and it's not fresh. I'm sorry, because when you look at that makeup after a year or 2 and that bright thing is not in trend, it look weird. So always use, for contour and highlight, use just 2 shades lighter for your highlight and 2 shades darker for your contour. So that's exactly what you should do. Don't do any more or less, I beg. So yeah, I'm doing her lips right now. Then I also set that in place with the powder so that it doesn't move, because once you conceal your brows and you don't set it, you have not secured that brows yet too. So once you conceal, you blend, you then go over it with a powder that is also 2 shades lighter than you, to set your brow bone in place. And when you're trimming your brows, trim exactly the shape that you have. So here I'm just following her lip tone, because she really, she wanted gloss if possible, but I had to convince her to allow me line a little bit. She didn't want anything too serious, so I had to just follow her lip tone, lined a little bit, and it was really, really gorgeous at the end of the day. Then I added a bit of gloss. I added a bit of gloss because I wanted it to still shine. Even the line, I didn't do the liner the way I would have done it normally, because she didn't want that. She just wanted something really mild and simple, and I believe that suited her perfectly, because you have to give your clients what they want. You're not the one wearing the makeup, they are the one wearing the makeup. So that's one thing that I always try to do. I don't force my will on people when doing their makeup. So I just lined a little bit. Wait and hear a comment. So you can hear that, right?
Oh, it's so pretty.
That was about it. We finished up the rest of our face. Even her husband loved this so much. And that's how I created this gorgeous look. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, my friends. Please subscribe. Don't just at this point, it's subscribers I need. I'm really not growing on subscribers. You guys are watching and learning and not subscribing. That's unfair. That's really unfair. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel before you go. I'll see you in my next video. Like and drop a comment for me. Thank you for watching. See you in my next clip. And you can also follow us on Instagram. My handle on Instagram is GKPro. GKPRO. You see so many other amazing looks that we've created over time. And if you have a wedding in Nigeria, in Lagos, in any part of Nigeria at all, we are available to travel. We take bookings as well. You can send us a DM on Instagram and we will be at your beck and call. And we've come to the end of this video. See you in my next video. Bye for now.